Perfect. A very good morning to everyone, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Chris, and I'm one of the Shortcuts content and educators here at Shortcuts. So what we're going to be going through for this morning is our end of year reporting. So thank you ever so much for joining me. I know you're all going to be super duper busy on the last week lead up to Christmas. So thank you all for joining me this morning. This morning's masterclass should be roughly an hour, and I've got roughly 6 or 7 reports to go through. But before we get into that, there is a little bit of housekeeping. For those of you that have joined me before, welcome back. Thank you ever so much for joining me. For those of you that are brand new to my masterclass, very good morning. Warm welcome to you. Thank you ever so much for spending your time with me this morning. But there is always a little bit of housekeeping just before we get into the fun stuff. So the duration of this webinar, it's going to be approximately 60 minutes. They are always recorded, so if you would like the recording, please just let me know at the end. As always, my microphone is switched on, whereas everyone else has automatically been muted. But I do always say, if you do want to have a little chat with me, feel free to. If you want to unmute yourself, that is perfectly fine. Your speakers must be turned on to hear this webinar. Questions will be taken during or at the end using the chat box. But like I said, if you do want to unmute yourself, have a little chat with me, feel free to make it live, interactive. It is the last one of the year. As I said, we've got plenty more brand new ones coming up for 2024, but this is our last one for 2023. So if this is your first time joining me, as we said, thank you ever so much for joining us this morning. What we typically do is we sometimes have a bit of a PowerPoint presentation, or we have a live demonstration. For this one in particular this morning, ladies and gents, it is a full-on live demonstration. Like we said, we've got roughly 6 or 7 reports we are going to go through, and they cover a range of different aspects for your end of year reporting. So as we said, this morning's masterclass is going to be a full-on live demonstration. So before we jump into that, just one more thing. If you do want to chat further, please feel free to email me at education@shortcuts.co.uk, or you can give us a call on 0161 972 4900, and it's option 1 and then option 4. And also, if you do want to sign up for further classes, these can be done through our website, shortcuts.co.uk/online-classes. Now, do make sure you're giving us a follow on Instagram and Facebook. It's Shortcuts UK. So Instagram.com/Shortcuts UK, Facebook.com/Shortcuts UK. So you can keep an eye on any news and anything brand new coming to us there. Perfect. So before we get started, I'm just going to open up my Shortcuts Fusion system. So we've opened up our Shortcuts Fusion system. The first thing we are going to do is open up our report. So we're going to pop our pin in. So we're just going to pop our pin in there. And to the right-hand side, we are going to click onto Tools and Reports. So all of our reports open up in exactly the same way. So we're just going to go to Tools and then Reports. On the left-hand side, you will have your report categories: appointments, business, clients, employees, and so forth. They typically go in alphabetical order. We're going to run through a mixture of them today. So the first one to get the ball rolling is going to be our business sales summary. It is the end of year reporting. This is really going to give us quite a lot of information in one report. So to get the ball rolling, we are going to go straight to business on the left-hand side here. And then once you've expanded business by clicking that plus sign to the left-hand side, we're going to go down to that business sales summary here. Now, if this is your first time, ladies and gents, using reports, once you've selected that particular report, you will notice to the right-hand side, you get a very brief description, and this just outlines the description of this report. So it lets us know the kind of data, the kind of information we will see in this report. Now, to open up the report, all we need to do is select this view icon just down here at the center bottom. So we click onto that, and 99% of the time when you do this, you will get a small window appear. Now, I'm just going to very quickly run through how you can configure a report. Most of our reports will allow this type of configuration. I won't do it for all reports, but like I said, I'm just going to very quickly show you how to configure a report, and then you can apply the same configuration to all of your reports if you wish to. So once we get this sort of window appear here, we get some date ranges to the left-hand side. So just current day, current week, current fortnight. And then underneath, we've also got last day, last week, last month, last year. We are reaching the end of 2023. So you may wish to just configure yourself a nice little date range there. And then you've also got next year as well. Now, to the left-hand side, you'll always, 99% of the time, we'll always have this miscellaneous icon just here. And this allows you to edit and change some of the parameters. So you can see here, I can change whether it's inclusive or exclusive of tax. Sometimes it can be the top 10 products, the top 20 products, bar graphs, line graphs, show definitions, all sorts of things to make that report a little bit easier to read. So what we're going to do is we're going to set ourselves a nice little date range for our business sales summary. Now for this one, I'm only really going to look at last month. Now you may wish for this report to configure it, 3 or 4 different times, for December, November, October, September, and so forth. So what I'm going to do just on the left-hand side here, I'm just going to go to last, and I'm just going to click last month, and you'll notice that changes it just here all the way to November for me. Now this particular report, our business sales summary, has this drop down arrow just here that says frequency. So I'm currently looking at a month date range. And for my business sales summary, it's saying for my month date range here in November, do we want to look at the days of November? Do we just want to look at the weeks of November? Bi-weekly, semi-monthly, monthly, quarterly, or annually? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the month of November daily. So we're just going to click onto that there. Now what we can do is we can just click view in the bottom right-hand corner just here. Now once this report opens up, what we get is some options along the top navigation bar just here. And we also get some options just down the bottom here. And again, I'm just doing this for the benefit of the ladies and gents that have maybe never configured a report, or maybe this is your first time opening up reports. So we can zoom in very quickly at the top here, which I will do just to make it a little bit easier to see here. And you can also skip between the pages down the bottom here if you need to. So actually, let's just zoom a tiny bit. Let's go to 70. Actually, no, keep it as 100, so I'm indecisive there. Perfect. So if you want to open this up back end as well as we do this. So our first report, business sales summary. So the first thing you may wish to do is print this report out. You may wish to just export this report out as well, in case you wish to view them side by side, in case you wish to email them, anything like that. But our business sales summary. So at face value, we can see for the month of November just here, which is roughly 4.3 weeks or 30 days, our products revenue £146.66. So we may wish to make a note of that, a screenshot of that, print it out, and run this report again for October or September or, whichever it may be. So we've got our products, £146.66. If we move to the right-hand side, we've got our services, £447.66. But we've also got this bar graph. So what does the bar graph show us? Well, underneath, we've got the days of the week. Now, as we said at the beginning, we configured this report to be daily. So we were going to do it for the month of November, but we were going to view the frequency as daily. So we can now see the days we were open or had clients just here. And it really just lets us know the days of the month or the days of the week was when we generated that revenue, when we sold those products. So we could start to look at this and see, was there a trend? Was it at the beginning of the week? Was it at the end of the month or anything? That was it particular days. Was it a Saturday? Probably. Was it a Friday? Did we have more staff members in that day? So we can start to see any correlations and trends. And again, as we go to the right here, we can see the days we make most of our money on. So we can see we got the 28th of November here and the 24th of November here. and the 10th of November as well. Then as we scroll down, we can also see our sundries. Now, our sundries are typically things like gift cards and gift certificates. So we can really now start to see where our money is being generated. And of course, as we look at this graph just here, total sales, everything together. So it's a great way off the bat, if you just want something really quick, to just be like, business sales summary will show where all of our revenue came in. You can also skip through the pages as well, and you can start to really drill it right down. You can see your series, your gift certificates, memberships, total sales with non-revenue, and then you can continue through the pages, net sales and total redemptions. Redemptions are things like gift cards and account payments and so forth. So to get the ball rolling, that is our first report. That is our business sales summary. It's a great report off the bat just to see for the month, the year, whichever date range it may be, to see our business sales. So what we're going to do is we're going to click done in the bottom right hand corner. We're now going to expand appointments. And we're going to go down to one of my favorite reports, no-show statistics. Okay, now we're reaching the end of the year. Some of you may have implemented things like upfront payments. Some of you may have implemented things like cancellation fees. And we know how of a big impact no-shows and last-minute cancellations and things like that can be. So it may be something you weren't aware you were having too much of, or is something you thought you got a lot of in the last November or the last December, and you thought to yourself, we may want to implement this in January. So no-show statistics is a great way to see how many no-shows we had, how many cancellations we had. So we're going to click onto view. And again, I'm just going to set my date range for the last month, but you can set yourself a custom date range if you wish to. So again, we're just going to click onto view. So at the top here, we've got the total. So we've got the month of November 2023. So the percentage of contacted clients who did not no-show. So percentage of contacted clients. So what that means is we sent that client a text message reminder. Some of you will be using those text message reminders. So the percentage of our clients who were contacted and who did not show. So that's showing me straight away that my text message reminders are working. I'm glad I've implemented those there. To the right of that, percentage of non-contacted clients who did not show. Okay, so these clients here were not sent a reminder text message, and that could have been very well the reason that they didn't show up. So we've got 41.2% of my clients there did not show because they weren't sent a text message reminder. So you might be thinking, okay, well, it's roughly 7 or 8p for a text message send out, but look, 41.2% of my clients who weren't contacted, they didn't show. Bookings marked as a no-show. So that's where you right click and obviously you mark it as a no-show. So you can go through the touch tip or you can right click and mark it as a no-show. So total no-shows including non-arrivals. So we didn't arrive the client. Okay, so maybe we didn't check the client out, we didn't arrive the client. Total no-shows including non-arrivals. So these clients weren't deleted, but they also weren't arrived. So it's 7 clients there essentially who no-showed. Then the all-important bit here, as we look at it for the month of November, the value of those no-shows. So from those 7 no-shows there, that cost me £89.20. So you might look at that and think, okay, well, that's not too bad. But at the same time, on the lead up to Christmas, we cannot be, affording to lose, roughly £90, £100 there. 17 bookings. Okay, so as we look at this here, the total bookings, 17 of them no-showed, which is quite a lot in the grand scheme of things. No-shows percentage of total bookings. So out of all of my bookings that I had, 17 of them, 41.2% of them no-showed. Okay, so I only had a total of 17 bookings in November. 41.2% of them were no-shows. So that's practically, edging towards 50% of my bookings were no-show. And then no-shows percentage of a total value. So out of all of the money I generated in November, 37.2% of them cost me. Okay, so that's quite a lot of money I lost in November there. So you might start looking at this thinking, okay, well, in January, maybe we'll start to look at introducing a cancellation fee or a cancellation policy, or we can start to utilize upfront payments. Then underneath, we've got our client statistics. So you might wish to start using the alerts to really make a note on this client so that moving forward, they do have to add in, a deposit because it is costing us money. So you can see the clients here, 2 of the same. And then we've got Amy here, 3 of the same by the looks of it, and then Chris. So we can see the total number of bookings this person has had, the times they were contacted, the number of replies we got from them, the number of cancellations they've had, the bookings marked as a no-show, and total no-shows, including non-arrivals, so we didn't arrive them, and a no-shows percentage of total bookings. So this is a very important aspect. So it may be that this client has visited, 20 times, but only no-showed once. Okay, well, that's not so bad. We'll let them off in this case. But let's take a look down here. We've got Amy, tap, 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 tap. So 100% of her bookings, she's not showed for one of them. She's no-showed for all of them. So again, we should be using our alerts and notes and putting an alert on this particular client and saying next time they come in, they need to pay a deposit, or they owe us some money, because we cannot afford moving forward in January to be having this number of no-shows and cancellations. So that is our no-show statistics. I think it's a fantastic report to especially be keeping an eye on, and especially on the lead up to Christmas in the end of the year, to really get a handle on those no-shows and those cancellations. Again, we're just going to click the done button now. On the left-hand side, I'm just going to expand business, and I'm going to go down to client account statements. Now, accounts are where you put money on somebody's account, typically as an over-the-phone or a face-to-face manual deposit. It can also be used if you transfer an upfront payment to somebody's account, or sometimes people do it if their son, daughter, husband, or wife is coming in for an appointment and they wish to pay for it in advance. That is an account. The thing is with an account is money is on the account due back to the business, as you can imagine, because if I put £50 on my account, I'm due to spend that money. So it may be at the end of the year, your accountant says to you, how much money do you have on account with your clients? How many gift certificates are outstanding? All of these sorts of questions, which is where your client account statements really come into play. So again, I'm just going to look at the last month, but you can look at the last year as well if you wish to. So we can see this straight away just here. So on the left-hand side, you'll have a list of all of your clients. So we can see this just here. So we can see, let's have a look at Amy Engineer. So we can see her opening balance. She'd purchased, actually, let's do this one. Here's a little bit easier to look at. So we've got an opening balance, £40 on credit, and a closing balance is still £40 in credit. So basically what that means is Chris has £40 on his account, and he may wish to spend that. I mean, I know he only put it on there on the 1st of November, so it only went on there 4 or 5 weeks ago or so, but he may wish to spend that. So your client account statement is a fantastic report to go through and see if a client is in credit with you, but also, as we can see with Laura here, if she is in debit with you. So what does that look like? So we can see she's in debit. So if you want to see what that looks like, if we go to clients on the right-hand side, can see here, she is actually £650 in debt to us. So she owes us £650. So it may be that Laura wasn't able to pay for her service when she came up. She forgot her purse and it's now essentially an IOU. The client account statements is a great report to see whether those clients are in debt to you, especially at the end of year. hopefully you've got lots of people that are in credit to you as well. And they may wish to just spend their money. But as is the case with Laura, she is in quite a lot of debt to the business. So it may be a case we just phone her up and say, look, last time you came in on the 1st of November, or whenever it may be, you weren't able to pay for your service. We haven't had that money yet. Are you able to pay for that now as we are reaching the end of the financial year there? So it's a report more for our accountants there, the client account statements. Perfect. And another fantastic report. I absolutely love this one. Again, under business is takings comparison. Not to be confused with takings breakdown. Takings breakdown will show you whether you took it in cash, card, credit, debit card, everything like that. But takings comparison is a fantastic, fantastic report to be looking at. So the reason we may look at this report, okay, throughout December, throughout November, throughout January, we may wish to have opened a little bit later. We may wish to have opened that Sunday or that Monday, okay? This report is a great way to see just how well that worked for us. It may be that you also did a midweek offer, or you're thinking about running a discount for the beginning of January, and then you can run this report at the end of January to see how well that worked for you. Maybe you took on temporary staff to deal with the backlog of, clients or anything like that. So let's just have a look at the last month. So what we get here, we just zoom in just ever so slightly here. So this particular report is a great way to see where the money is being spent for that particular date range, and it draws a fantastic comparison. So on the left-hand side here, we get the start of the week for our month. So you can see here, we got the 5th, and then it goes from Sunday to Monday all the way through to Saturday, just over here. So as we can see here, Sunday, we are closed. So we've not generated any revenue there. But it may be throughout December and November, as I said, you decided to open Sunday. And this really shows us, okay, well, is Sunday working something we should maybe look at in the future? Now, sometimes when I say this, I get a few gasps and people are like, oh, no, not moving forward. But this report is a great way at the very least to think, okay, well, it certainly helped us out through November and December. Maybe we'll trial it in January. Or do you know what? We'll remember it for next year and we'll do November and December next year as well. It's also a great way to see, are they spending the money on a Monday, a Tuesday, beginning of the week, beginning of the month, end of the week, end of the month. So we can see here our total revenue on a Monday was 141. Bit of a slow day. Tuesday it picked up, so we can see here we've got a lot more revenue throughout here. The number here is the number of clients that we saw. As we move to our Thursday, Thursday seems to be our most popular day here. Now you might look at this and think, oh no, actually no, it wasn't. I thought I said 580, I do apologize. Seems like Wednesday was our most popular day. And Saturday we didn't do anything. But it looks like here Wednesday was our most popular day. Okay, well that could be maybe we were running a midweek offer. Maybe that's when we've got the majority of our staff in. So we can start to use this information, think to ourselves, okay, well these midweek offers seem to be doing well. Or, when we've got the least amount of staff in, we could run a midweek offer then as well. Or people seem to be spending the most of their money at the end of the month with us. Makes sense. It is payday after all. So this is a great report to think to ourselves, okay, yep, it did work opening on that Sunday or running, that midweek offer, or having a few extra staff members working that Saturday. It really did work for us. It's something we can continue working towards in the new year. So our takings comparison, a great way to see the days of the week, the days of the month when our clients are really spending their money with us. Perfect. Our next report, we're just going to scroll down. We're going to expand clients and we're going to go down to non-returning clients from a date range. Now, when it comes to non-returning clients, there's a few different ways to really configure this report. And it's quite often people do make a few mistakes, unfortunately, when configuring this report. What I would always say is have a look at the description just at the top here. So we can see, go back 6 months from the current day, enter this as your start date, go back 8 weeks from the current date and enter this as your end date. So if we click onto view, and if we go back 6 months from today, so if we have a look at our date range here, if we go back 6 months from today, which takes us to roughly June. And then again, let's go back 8 weeks from today, which takes us roughly to October. There we go. So what that will give us is people that visited us from June all the way up until October and haven't returned since October. So we give them roughly 8 weeks. Now, what I often see a lot of people do is they will have today's date as the end date. So a lot of people will do something like June to December the 18th, 2023. But as you can imagine, a lot of those clients that visited yesterday, a lot of those clients that visited Saturday, a lot of those clients that visited Friday just gone, they're not due back anyway because they only visited 3 days ago, 2 days ago, 1 day ago. So it's always worth giving them at least an 8-week opportunity to come back and visit you, because we would reckon within those 8 weeks they would at least come back for a root touch up, a skin fade, a beard trim. Now if you're maybe an extension tech or anything like that, you might be thinking, okay, well, my clients, wouldn't come back after 8 weeks anyway. They'd come back after 16 weeks. You can adjust the date range accordingly. So we just click on to view there, and then we can start to see all of our staff members on the left here. And we can see the client that visited them just there. So you can see just here all of my clients that did not return. So I had 15 total unique clients. They're clients that are not duplicate clients. 7 of them did not return. 8 of them did return. So I had 53.3% of my clients that did return. And these are my clients here that did not return. So maybe you wish to give them a little phone call and just say, we hope everything's okay on the lead up to Christmas. Is there anything we could have done different? Would you be like to, rebook in for the new year or something like that? So I had 53% of my clients returned, and 46.7% of them didn't return, and we can see them just here. So have a little play around with that report, but as I say, always keep an eye on this sort of description at the top here, just to help you out with configuring the date range. As we scroll down, if we go to employees, one of my favorite reports, hours by roster type. Now, it's often a report that gets overlooked. When we're looking at a report, we tend to want to look at, revenue, monetary value, stock, and things like that. But hours by roster type is a fantastic report, especially at the end of year. Now, hours by roster type is a great way really to see whether your staff have had too much holiday, too many sick days compared to how many they are able to accrue. Now, hours by roster type will only work accurately, ladies and gents, if you use the tools and schedule. Okay, so if you're marking people out using a task, it will not work. So what I mean by that, for this report to work, you will need to go to tools and schedule and use the roster schedule reasons, for instance, like this. As you can see, I just click onto it and then just change it just like that there. It will not work, ladies and gents, if you are scheduling tasks just like this here. So if you are marking people as day off or sick by scheduling a task like this, it will not show in that report, unfortunately. But hours by roster types, if we go back down to our employees, click on to view, and if we just do for the current year, Perfect. Excellent stuff. So we get all of our employees on the left-hand side here, and then we can see all of the types of roster that they had. So we can see here for the entire year, normal work, sickness, day off, and college. Normal work, holiday, day off. So we can see all of that there. So this is a great report, and I believe you can also use this alongside the DirectGov website. If you're not sure how many hours your staff should have accrued, for holiday, just in case you want to check if they've taken too much holiday or they've had too much sick or anything like that. But this in particular is a fantastic report for that, especially drawing to the end of the year as well. So we can see here, normal work, 1,294 hours, holiday, day off. So we could be looking at that and then just double checking, okay, well, you know, how many days does 71.5 hours equate to? You know, how many days does 84 hours equate to? Has this person had too much holiday? Have they had too many sick days or anything like that? So definitely be keeping an eye on this particular report. But as I said, this will only work if you're using the schedule reasons and not scheduling a task. So hours by roster type, a fantastic report. I love looking at this report at the end of the year, just so we can see exactly how many hours our staff have done. Perfect. So as we scroll down, I'm just going to expand transactions and look at this report. Best sales, again, often overlooked. Now, this particular report can go hand in hand with our takings comparison we looked at around 5 minutes ago. Our best sales is a great way to see the hours of the day our clients are spending their money. So as we said, did we open that a little bit later throughout Christmas on that late night shopping on a Thursday? Did we open from 8 till 9, or are we thinking about reducing certain hours? You know, over Christmas, we had a lot of staff in on that late night Wednesday, but we didn't have the clients. We found they came in on the Friday. We found they came in on the Thursday. So remember, ladies and gents, use this one if you wish, alongside your takings comparison. Your best sales is a great way to see what hour they were spending their money. So again, let's have a look at last month. So we can see here, sales by hour. So it's quite a nice colourful graph to have a look at. So we can see here the hours of the day here. So 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 2 o'clock here. And it gives us the sales value for each one. And we can just represent that colour key just there. So it really lets us know when our clients are spending the money. Are they spending it in the morning, early morning, late morning, afternoon, early afternoon, or slightly later afternoon? Now, as we said, you may look at this and think, okay, well, we notice we're a little bit quiet of a morning, or notice we're a little bit quiet of a late evening. Or maybe you want to look at it and think, okay, well, yeah, we did open a little bit later, and it really worked for us. So we can see we had 7 transactions at 8 o'clock in the morning with a value of £105, and the average sale was £15. So we can see out of all of the money that came in, 14% of the revenue came in at 8 o'clock through these 7 transactions here. And out of all of the visits, it equated to 20% of the visits. So for the entire day, 20% of the visits were at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then we move forward to 10 o'clock, getting a little bit later in the day. We had 9 transactions. Okay, did we have another staff member start with us at 10 o'clock? And again, we've got the amount, £166. The total sales, so 22% of the total sales that came in were at 10 o'clock, and 25% of all of the visits were at 10 o'clock. So we can see here, if we move to 11 o'clock, again, we had 8 transactions and a value of £184. And you can see here, all roughly around the 20%. It seems to us my clients are all early birds. They like to come in early. So it certainly shows us that starting at 8 a.m. was a good move. Now, I'm not suggesting you open your business at 8 o'clock in the morning, but I do know some barbers that are open from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and I know some salons that are open from 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. So this report is a great way to see whether that's working for you. Now, of course, you may wish to look at it month by month, sort of a year by year, case by case scenario, just to really see how the figures stack up. But it's great to certainly look at to think, I'm thinking about opening a little bit later, or do we really need to be open that time a little bit later on? It's a great way to see where our clients are spending our money. And again, you can use the same sort of theory with it. Did you have a midweek offer? Did you have a happy hour offer between 12 and 1? Do you have more staff members working at 8 o'clock and not working as late? Do you have parking restrictions that stop people coming in of an evening? These are all things to take into account. But I love that report. It's best sales. I think it's a great way to really see where the money is being spent. Perfect. And as we scroll down, sundry income breakdown. Now, this report I only tend to really look at towards Christmas. The reason being is a lot of you will probably be selling gift cards and gift certificates. You may wish to, in January or February, to see the value of gift cards that you sold. Maybe you didn't sell as many as you thought, or maybe you sold a lot more than you thought you were going to do. Sundry income breakdown is a great report to show you that. So we can see here, as well as having our account refunds and everything like that that we've looked at, we can see our gift card and our gift certificate. So how many gift cards were sold? How many gift certificates were sold? So gift card is if you sell them through Shortcuts, so to speak. So if we generate and create the gift cards for you. Gift certificate is if you generate and create your own. If you've ever got any other sundry income items set up, like we have here, I've set up one called a Google review or a loyalty activation. These will also show. But I think that this particular report is fantastic, especially to see how many gift cards we sold. Did we run out? Did we over budget? Did we under budget on how many gift cards we were hoping to sell? Did we look at doing a gift card percentage increase? Did that help to push through the sales there? Hopefully we're all selling gift cards and gift certificates. They make fantastic last minute presents. If you are using cloud-based marketing or Marketing Plus, it's a great way to advertise that you have a gift card or a gift certificate as well there. Perfect. So just one report. We're a little bit ahead of time there this morning. Just one last report for you all this morning, ladies and gents. Now, I know those sort of last 5 or 6 reports for this Monday, they've been quite full on, but hopefully you've all found them informative to just really give you that slightly better edge on your reporting. But this report I'm going to show you is, should we say, it's a little bit more of a fun one on the lead up to Christmas, and it's what we call our top spending clients. So if we just go back to clients here, and if we go down to top spending clients. Now, I think this is a nice one on the lead up to Christmas. You can adjust the miscellaneous here, so you can change it to top 10, top 20, whatever it may be. But what I like to do, let's have a look for the current year, and let's see who our top spending client was. So we've got a client called Test here, of all things. We can see their email, in case you wish to just drop them a nice little email there. Got their phone number as well, in case you want to just give them a nice little phone call. It's up to you whether you want to outline their total spend. I'm sure this person here and this person here probably wouldn't want to see their total spend, but please bear in mind this is a test system. So we can see the number of tickets, that's the number of transactions that they've had there. The average spend, that's just derived from taking the total and dividing it by the number to give you their average spend when they pop in for a transaction or a service. And then we can see the total spend. So £20,000 on myself there. I'm a I'm a high roller. I'm a top spender in the business there. But I think it's a great report in case you wish to just do a couple of little vouchers or a couple of little freebies or gifts or whatever it may be on the lead up to Christmas, and just say you were one of our top 10, one of our top 20 spending clients. Thank you ever so much for your support. We know how difficult it's been over the year, over the last sort of 3 or 4 years, to be honest with you. And it's a great way to just sort of congratulate them. It's also quite a nice report as well, just to really see who your top spending clients are. I know sometimes our clients do like to tell us, don't they? And they say, oh, must be your top spending client, must be one of your best clients. Well, this is certainly the report to show you that. So it's a nice report, in case you wish to just give them a little congratulations. So that is it for this morning, ladies and gents. A little, like I said, a little bit under there than what we usually have, but I wanted to get through sort of 6 or 7 of my top business reports, especially as we close out for the end of the year. I hope you're all super duper busy on the lead up to Christmas. It's 7 days today, isn't it? A week today until the big day. But thank you ever so much for watching and joining me this morning. Hopefully you'll be able to join me in the new year. We have lots of great new masterclasses. We're going to be running them a lot more frequently. We get asked lots of questions on them. So we've got lots of brand new classes coming up. But thank you ever so much for joining me this morning. If you do have any questions, please feel free to drop those across to me now. Perfect. Lovely. Thank you ever so much. Great. Perfect. So thank you ever so much again for joining me this morning. It's been a pleasure speaking to you all. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and I shall speak to you all again in the new year. Thank you ever so much. Take care. Bye-bye for now.